welcome to Seen Through Glass. You may have seen recently that Shell got me behind the wheel of an insane Nissan Leaf race car. It was an unexpectedly exhilarating experience. Honestly, just so much fun, but it really showed me how hard companies like Shell and Nissan are pushing in the development of EVs and e-fuels and e-lubricants, etc. And today I thought I'd kind of put that to a bit of a real-world test, because I currently have the keys to this standard Nissan Leaf road car for some other content I'm doing with Shell. But today I actually need to head up to Amari Supercars for a meeting about some projects I've got with Amari later in the year. More on that soon. But instead of taking my own car, I thought maybe this could be a good opportunity to do my kind of first long distance road trip in an EV. Now, if you don't know about the Nissan Leaf, it's kind of like an entry-level EV, but it's actually the second biggest selling EV in the UK. However, it is more of a city car. The standard Leaf, I think, has a range of 100 and 120 miles. This is the E+, so we do have a range of about 200 miles. Still not ideal for a 500-mile round trip to Preston, but that's the whole point, Mike, because my biggest bugbear, my biggest concern about the world of EVs, it's really been the infrastructure. What would they be like to live with on a day-to-day basis? Could you do longer road trips? When I called Shell and told them I wanted to do this, they were totally unfazed. They were like, yeah, easy, because they've got like over 100 charge points on their forecourts, and you've got access to their bigger public charging network, which is over 6,500 charging points, and of course there's a whole load of other charging providers. So they're like, yeah, it should be a breeze. It's not like you're going to deepest, darkest Scotland. I did ask for some help though, so they sent over some tips and let me know about some recharge charge points kind of on or near my route, because, well, I'm nervous, I'm apprehensive. This would be a quite straightforward 8-hour round trip in my own car, a trip I've done many times before, and probably, yeah, I just could do in my sleep. Wouldn't be advised, but could. I don't want it to become a sort of 12-hour, 14-hour round trip with loads of stops and the hassle of not knowing how to plug in. Yeah. Anyway, there's only really one way to find out, isn't there? So, seatbelts on. Let's power up silently and hit the road. Straight into morning rush hour traffic then, but this is where this car should really be in its element. Busy, inner city roads. In my mind, this is where EVs make sense. But I'm already getting range anxiety because I left the studio what felt like 5 minutes ago with a range of 236 miles. I'm already down to 229. I think I need to change my driving style. I feel like a Formula 1 driver, or even better, a Formula E driver. When I met with Jan Mardenborough to do the Nissan Leaf race car, he was telling me about sort of battery management, and actually, you know, traditionally, especially in moments of traffic, it's quite a lot of hard acceleration, hard braking, you kind of, you know, moving between those gaps. It's all about being as smooth as possible within an EV. So I've got this little sort of bar, says eco, and I need to always sort of try and ensure that I'm in that window, that very small window, as I accelerate to eke out this charge. Okay then, time for my first charge. Now I have ended up stopping a little bit earlier than I originally planned. The sort of range left in the car and then the distance to the original charging point I'd selected, well, it all got a bit too close. I think there was like 5 or 10 miles difference, and I was like, well, that feels a bit close for comfort. So I just jumped on the Shell Recharge app, found another point which actually literally has been 2 minutes off the M6 motorway that I've been heading up, and yeah, it all looks fairly straightforward. It has got the sort of rapid charge element, the, I'm going to say Chademo? I don't know if you're supposed to read it out or say like the CHADEMO plug. So yeah, fingers crossed it's going to be super straightforward. I've got to pop that little thing out there, and here we go. Okay, now I think this is our rapid charger. Yeah, there. We're going to want that guy, so let's come over and check out the screen. Okay, so we want this guy here. plug in the Chademo. Click and press start. Done. Oh wow! Yeah, 23%. That's what I'm on at the moment. Is it going? Is it charging? Okay, 90 seconds in, and we've already gained 2%. So, yeah, I think so far so good. Well, I've just finished importing today's footage, so I thought I'd quickly check on progress and see how we're getting on with the old charge situation. And oh wow, 76%. Okay, actually I've been here longer than I thought I had, 37 minutes, but 76%. That has flown by because I've been busy. So I reckon what, another 15 minutes? Gonna be good to go. Go on. Okay, so we were at 92% charge. I've probably been here, I was going to say 30, but I think more like 40 minutes longer than I would have if I was filling up with fuel. Now, that's advantageous for me because one thing which I hate about always being on the road is the fact I never get to catch up on stuff. I always have to wait till I get home at the end of the day, and then I've got a whole load of work to do before I can relax. So let's crack on to Amari. Short but sweet, but always good. Very good to see. Have you ever driven a Nissan Leaf, by the way?
No.
Do you want to?
I'll swap you when we do the swap.
The secret swap. Don't give away any secrets. See you soon, mate.
Take care. See you now.
Always so good to visit Amari. The stock they have here is just mind-boggling. And then at the end there, Amari trying to give away a few little secrets about the upcoming projects that we are planning. More on that, as I say, to come soon. Anyway, now time to head back down south. Yes, a bit of a mad trip, but I have done this quite a few times before. It's just today it's requiring a little bit more thought. So, where are we at with our battery life? Okay, so we're back down to 49% battery remaining, 117 miles. So that's unfortunately not going to get me all the way back down to London. So, where I could use that map, or no, hold on a sec, there's the Shell. Recharge, see if there's anything on the way. Okay, I'm feeling much more confident about the journey on the way back, I have to say. I feel like I know what I'm doing now. Interesting development, I've now rocked up at my next charging point and somebody's already here. So I'm in a queue, I'm the next person in the queue. Don't really know how long the person in front of me has been here. I kind of want to sneakily go and look at the screen on the recharge unit to see if I can see, you know, are they at 20% or are they like 80%? So yeah, sitting patiently. There is another charge point 18 miles back north, which would be not ideal. The next one's 33 miles further south. These are all on the motorway, by the way, so if things get really desperate, I can obviously jump on like Zap Map or something like that and just find another one, because at the moment things are getting a bit tight. 15% battery and 33 mile range. So I'm not panicking yet. It's fine. I'm alright, I'm not in a huge rush, but yeah, I kind of sneakily just want to go and have a look. I don't really know what the, you know, how polite do you have to be? Do I go and knock on his window and say, what mate, how long you been here? Or how much longer you got left? Or do I sneakily go and look at his screen? The etiquette is a bit confusing, but yeah, I'll give him at least 10 or 15 minutes, I think. And if he's still there, maybe I'll move on. Woohoo! We are in, people. So, let me just get this like this. Okay, that really wasn't that bad. I think I was waiting 17 minutes for that person to finish charging. I went in the shop, got myself a magazine, took some photos of the car and stuff like that, and before I knew it they were unplugging and driving off, and now I'm plugged in. But you know, this is where Shell are really investing a lot of their time and money, is improving the infrastructure. And you know, I mentioned at the beginning they've already got, you know, 100 or over 100 of these kind of, you know, charge points on their forecourts, and there's a whole wider network. But when I asked them to send over some tips for today, they also sort of did send over some information about how they're looking to sort of improve. Here we go. So yeah, so in total, currently, there's nearly 7,000 charging points in this sort of overall Shell network. But by 2025, they want to have over 5,000 charging points on forecourts. And actually, near me at home in London, they've got the, is it Evelyn or Project Evelyn? Where essentially they're sort of creating a whole new forecourt experience purely for EVs. So it might look like a sort of relatively traditional forecourt, but instead of pumps, fuel pumps, there'll be high powered charge points, 150 kilowatts I think, so like 10 of those or something. So yeah, that will be fairly impressive and something that's needed in the city, but it's kind of needed all the way out here because EVs they are really good now. It's not the first time I've said it. I mean, this car is super impressive. It's an entry-level EV, 35 odd grand. We've got heated seats, radar guided cruise control, reversing camera, heated steering wheel. I mean, so much kit, and more people are going to start buying into this kind of ideology, and so Shell are just racing forward to try and make sure that, you know, they've got the infrastructure in place. Anyway, I'm going to settle in for the charge. Probably got about 45 minutes to go. Read my magazine, see what EV track day is all about. Wonder if they drove the Leaf Nismo RC. As you can see, it's now dark. I think that's a sign that winter is coming, or maybe even winter has arrived now in the UK. But you can probably also see that I'm now back in London, and that marks the end of today's journey. And what a kind of eye-opening day it has been. If I'm honest, I've only really got kind of one of the red flags I had up at the start of the day still standing, and I can kind of offset it or lower it slightly because, well, yeah, basically finding a place to charge, super easy, super straightforward. I mean, I've only really been using the Shell Recharge charging points and kind of motorway networks like that, but thousands of other places I could have gone. I mean, heck, outside my house you can even plug an EV into a lamppost, so that seems to be getting better and better. And then actually using it, so activating and using the charging points, really straightforward, way more straightforward than I was expecting or remembered from previous experiences. In fact, I could just turn up, tap my card, plug in the right cable, and off we went. That was, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised by that. And then the actual time during the charge, really not bad. And I mentioned it earlier, someone like me who's on the road quite a lot, I really loved the chance to be able to sit there and do emails and a bit of editing and things like that, because for me, an 8-hour day behind the wheel, well, that means I've got no time to do any other kind of work. So having those breaks to be able to catch up on things, really useful. And I guess if you're not working, you could watch Netflix or something like that. So yeah, the time passes quicker than you would think. Cost wise, I've probably spent 35 quid on electricity today. But yeah, it's just the fact that right here, right now, I probably could have been home 2.5 hours earlier if I was in one of my normal combustion engine cars. But that does have somewhat to do with, well, the car that I'm actually driving. Whilst this is the Nissan Leaf with a slightly longer range, it's still fundamentally a kind of city-based car, or car made for city driving. So we could get a car with a slightly longer range or slightly quicker charging capabilities. And then also we could be using faster chargers. Shell are really working hard to roll out these high-powered 150 kilowatt charging points, and that's going to make a huge difference too. So, you know, as I learn with that Leaf Nismo RC experience, the sort of development is non-stop in this space, and it's kind of hand over fist. There's constantly new things coming, and Shell are continuously pushing forward. But at this early point in terms of infrastructure, there's already many more positive signs than I was expecting. So yeah, I think I think that's probably still my only small barrier, my only consideration about any longer distance EV road trip. It's a case, and I gotta add in that additional time, and that's all. It just requires a bit of planning, which you can do using things like the Shell Recharge app or Zap Map or really any of these kind of sources for charging points. You just plot them out and you give yourself a few options depending on how aggressively you might use your power, or at least your battery, and away you go. So it just needs a bit more thought. Apart from that, it's been a fairly straightforward day, and I did the meeting as I intended to, and that was all very positive. More on that soon. So yeah, huge thank you to Nissan for allowing me to do it in the Leaf today, and of course Shell for helping to facilitate this video, because as I mentioned, they were great and they sent me some tips and let me know of some good recharge points to use. So yeah, huge thanks to them. If you've enjoyed the video, if you found it insightful, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know about your EV experience below. Have you done any sort of long distance EV trips, and how did you get on if so? And make sure you stay subscribed for plenty more videos to come.